Hey there, this is Mario from shockingfit.com, and in this video you're gonna learn what should you eat before workouts. So I get this question a lot, and it's been a debate, and it's been fueled by a lot of bro science and a lot of discussion in the bodybuilding forums and big websites comments putting out these articles, top 10 pre-workout meals, this is what you should do, this is when you should eat, and how, and all these things. So I just wanted to clear up this debate once and for all and just put out some of the stuff that is based in science and in evidence, so you guys know what to do and how to apply this. So the first thing you want to look at when you're determining your pre-workout meal is the context of the situation. So the first thing is, when is your training? So if your training is done in the morning, let's say the first thing after you wake up, obviously then you want to make sure to have some protein, fast digesting protein, as a meal before you hit the gym. And this is simply if you want to maximize muscle growth by minimizing muscle loss and minimizing the need for your body to break down muscle to get amino acids in the bloodstream because you're doing a workout on an empty stomach. It's not even that necessary if you're not interested in optimizing 100%. So it's not that much of a big difference, but it makes a small difference for you guys that really want to take to that extreme next level. And besides that, I mean, if your training is not done in the morning, throughout the day, anytime you have a meal, the only thing to really consider is the speed of digestion and the size of the meal, and not so much for the macro composition of the meal, although it does matter a little bit when you're thinking about how long the meal will take to digest. And meals such as high carbohydrate meals, low protein meals, low fat meals, for example, they digest a lot faster if the fiber content is low than if you added protein and fat to the meal. Then it's going to take a while to digest. So the main thing to think about, for example, if you had a huge meal, let's say you had a steak and you had a bunch of rice and you had a lot of fiber, that meal, if you had it 1 hour before training, is going to impact your training in a negative way, because you're not going to be able to digest that food properly. And when it's time for you to hit the compound lifts, I mean, you might be feeling that you need to throw up and these things. I mean, that's what happened to me in the past. And that's the only thing I would really concern myself right now with, is that I want to give my body enough time after the meal before I hit gym. And that's the main thing I would say for anybody even thinking about timing their meals and what to eat before workout, is simply giving your body enough time to digest and to absorb that food a little bit at least, so it's not right here, so it doesn't go up instantly when you start lifting. When you start doing squats, you're like, oh, it's all coming back, get that gastric reflex. And it's not very healthy for your digestive system as well to instantly jump into a activity after you had a huge meal. So that's something to consider, and that would be the two main factors, is simply when you do your training and how big the meal is if you have time to digest it. And in terms of the actual meal composition as well, it doesn't really matter that much, as long as, you spread out the protein throughout the day. So in a couple of portions, like 3 to 4 times throughout the day, that is according to all the research we have now, is the thing that will maximize the amount of muscle protein you're going to be able to synthesize and improve your recovery and all the other benefits from protein. So besides having that protein spread out throughout the day, nothing else really matters in terms of like how many carbs or fats or whatever you add to that meal. In general, the pre-workout, a lot of you guys will opt in to have some kind of pre-workout supplement. And in that case, it's better not to have that supplement with a meal. And it's just better for any supplement, that kind of a category, just to take it on an empty stomach, because it's going to have the maximum effectiveness. So let's say if I'm training in the evening, and if my meal is at noon and I'm training at 6, I'm not going to have any food, and I'm just going to have a pre-workout before I hit the gym. Simply because I feel like the pre-workout works the best if I have it practically on an empty stomach after 5-6 hours of giving myself enough time to digest the meal. And in general, the meals in the beginning of the day for me are a lot less quantity and calories than the ones after workout if I'm training in the evening. If I'm training in the morning, the first meal of the day is going to be the biggest one, and that's going to be the meal after workout. So if I'm training in the morning, it's going to be in a fasted state. I'm going to have some BCAAs. I might have a half a scoop of whey protein. Because I mean, when you're traveling or if you're moving around a lot, it's easier to have just one supplement like whey protein than to have BCAA and whey, and the benefits are almost equal. So there's no difference whatsoever between taking one or the another, at least according to the research and what we know so far. So yeah, I mean, just to summarize some of the key points, if you're training fasted in the morning, have some BCAA or some whey protein before that training, and that can be done 30-45 minutes before. That's about it. That's as much as you need to concern yourself about. If you're the kind of person that really, I guess, you wake up and you're not used to yet to work on an empty stomach, don't worry about that. Give it a few weeks and then you will adapt, and it's gonna take some time. I know a lot of people switch to the fasted training and they're like, oh my god, I'm so low energy, I didn't have my breakfast, all these things. But after a few weeks you get used to it and it just becomes second nature, and you will probably outperform yourself in the evening. And for the reason why you do better workouts is simply because you have more willpower, because you made less decisions. As soon as you wake up, you replenish your willpower. And then compared to the workout in the afternoon where you had a whole day of things happening in your life, obligation, responsibilities, school, work, and all these things, training in the morning is really your personal time where you're just with yourself, where you have the maximum amount of willpower, maximum focus on training. So it's a really good time to train if you're committed to getting your workouts in. I think it's probably the best option for most people. So basically doing that, a little bit of whey or BCAA before. If you're training in the afternoon or sometime other during the day, then the main thing to consider is just to give your body enough time to digest food. So that's the key point number 2. Give yourself enough time to digest food. Don't go into the gym if you just ate an hour or 2 hours before, because you might have issues. You might not be able to put out the maximum performance because all that food is still stuck here and it's going to just come out and start coming out, and you're going to feel bad, a little bit nauseous, and all these factors. I mean, there's no need for doing that. So just wait a little bit or just have very small meals before training so you can save yourself for that big feast after the workout. And that's pretty much all the points. I mean, besides spreading out the protein throughout the day, nothing much to worry about. Hope this cleared the dilemma for you. Hope you learned, I guess, some of the more of the evidence side of things rather than just looking at the bro science and like things like, oh man, you have to have like a couple of meals before training, you need to eat every 2 hours and things like that. I mean, those myths have been debunked years and years ago, so there's really no need to concern ourselves with that anymore. So yeah, I'm curious about your training. Do you eat anything before workout? When do you train? Do you train in the afternoon or do you train in the morning? So I'm interested in that. So leave me a comment below. And what do you eat before your workout? So I'm interested to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click subscribe below on the button, on the red one in YouTube. And I'll see you guys soon. Peace.